So what is important in the life of a Muslim is not to forego wealth completely, nor to become obsessive with wealth. Rather, it is the goal and the objective of Sharia for a Muslim to acquire wealth, manage that wealth well, and stay within the limits of Sharia in that monetary gain, as well as making sure that it does not enter the heart of the person. If a person is able to do this, that person is very successful. Amr bin As radiallahu anhu, he says in hadith, his statement was, he says, نِعْمَ الْمَالُ الصَّالِحِ لِلْمَرْءِ الصَّالِحِ. That how great of a blessing wealth is for somebody who himself is good. A righteous person takes wealth and makes the wealth righteous. He uses it in the right places. وَالَّذِينَ إِذَا أَنْفَقُوا لَمْ يُسْرِفُوا وَلَمْ يَقْتُرُوا وَكَانَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ قَوَامًا. Allah says, and a sign of the people who are the slaves of Almighty Allah, Ar-Rahman, Ibadur Rahman, are those who when they spend their wealth, they don't spend it extravagantly, nor are they miserly, وَكَانَ بَيْنَ ذَلِكَ قَوَامًا, and they come in between. The same way the Prophet ﷺ taught us that a person can even fight for their wealth. Yani a Sahabi once came to the Prophet ﷺ, he said, Ya Rasulullah, أَرَأَيْتَ إِذَا جَاءَنِي رَجُلٌ يُرِيدُ أَخْذَ مَالِي. A man, what do you think, Ya Rasulullah? If a man comes to me and he tries to seize my wealth, tries to take my wealth away from me forcefully. The Prophet ﷺ said, لَا تُعْطِي مَالَهُ. Don't give him your wealth. He said, Ya Rasul, وَإِنْ قَاتَلَنِي. What if he tries to fight me? Prophet ﷺ said, قَاتِلْهُ, fight him. He said, Ya Rasul, وَإِنْ قَتَلَنِي. What if he kills me? He ﷺ said, then you are going to Jannah, you are shaheed. He said, Ya Rasul, what if I kill him? Who of him now? He is going to Jannah. Yani you are successful on both sides. This is hadith, sahih hadith. So, the Prophet ﷺ has never taught us that wealth in and of itself is wrong. But through Quran and Sunnah, he teaches us that wealth can be very dangerous for a person. Like Abd dinar. One hadith of Muslim, the Prophet ﷺ said, Ta'isa Abd dinar wa Abd dirham wa Abd khamisa. He says, ruin is the person who is a slave to money. Abd dinar, Abd dirham, Abd al-Khamisa, and a slave to luxuries. Khamisa is a word that is used for very beautiful clothing, like a cloak that somebody uses to show themselves as a person of honor and prestige. Then the Prophet ﷺ said that when this person is pricked, then may this prick not be taken from him. He made dua against him. فَإِذَا شِيكَ فَلَنْ تُقِشَ. May it not be pulled out. Meaning that when he is harmed because of his love for this world, then may he stay in that difficulty. إِذَا أُعْطِيَ. When he is given something, he's happy. And if he's not given, he's upset. This person has ruined his life. So there are two spectrums, there are two sides of this. You know, we are struggling. Maybe some of us are not actually struggling. But a lot of people around the world are struggling right now, especially in their finances. There are people that are losing their jobs. There are people that have completely lost their businesses. There are people that are losing their homes, their cars. There are people that are losing their eating at their savings moment after moment. There are people that don't know what to do. Yes, we have tawakkul. Yes, definitely we have tawakkul. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has control of all affairs. But this world is darul asbab. It is important for us to take the right approach. Yani if a person was managing their wealth in a right way, understanding the rules and the parameters of wealth itself, then he, in times like this, will find himself very affluent. Because he learned how to spend. He learned how to budget. He learned how to save. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about this in the Quran. That you save that which is in your homes. You keep well for rainy days. Imagine in the time of Yusuf alayhi salam. In the time of Yusuf alayhi salam, when the king he had the dream, and he needed the interpretation of the dream. So they brought Yusuf alayhi salam. And Yusuf alayhi salam, what advice did he give him? He said, "O king, you guys are going to, your interpretation or the meaning of your dream is that for 7 years you guys are going to have good vegetation. Strong agriculture. Then 7 years after that will be a drought and famine." So what advice did he give him? That for the time of difficulty that you face in the future, now when you are affluent, save your wealth. And he said, gather everything you have except and only give that which you need to survive right now. So that it will help you take control and survive and outlast the difficulty that will soon come, which is a time like today. So investing, like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran about a person who is the guardian of the wealth of an orphan. Allah says, do not approach the wealth of an orphan except in the best way. بِالَّتِي هِيَ أَحْسَنُ. What does that mean? The ulama say that a person who is a guardian and responsible of the wealth of an orphan, it is important for them that if they use that wealth, they should use it in a way that benefits them. They should invest. Like Umar ibn Khattab radiallahu anhu, who's great Amir al-Mu'mineen. He says that do not leave your wealth dead, so that the sadaqah eats from it and you do not use it. So Islam has taught us so many things. It has taught us how to use wealth. It has also taught us the dangers of wealth. And this is why al-iqtisad, al-Islami, Islamic economics teach the Muslim how to come to a right path. Yani, what a lot of people generally miss today or they lack in terms of financials today is not the money. It is the ability to manage money. And if you look at the world today, the Muslim world is wealthier today than ever before. It's wealthier today than ever before. However, there are so many Muslims that are careless and negligent in wealth management. Sometimes out of the fear of wealth, but sometimes out of being naive and not understanding the Islamic approach. Islam teaches us to build our society. Islam teaches us to construct masajid, to build institutes, to liberate ourselves. But Islam does not teach us to have the wealth live in our heart. And there's something that, in my experience, and especially in my experience with other people, in terms of business and wealth management and assisting people in many Sharia aspects, that most people work very hard to get money, to become wealthy, to build net worth. However, it is a harder task. And most people, they put 100% into becoming wealthy. However, it is a harder task that once you have that wealth, to remove the love of that wealth. If a person is given wealth, and they continue to stay in a life of disobedience, the ulama have called this istidraj. The Prophet ﷺ, he said that when you see a slave, a person, a believer, whom Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has given wealth, وَهُوَ مُقِيمٌ عَلَى مَعَاصِيهِ, and he continues to indulge in the same sins, then know that إِنَّمَا يَسْتَدْرِجُهُ اللَّهُ, that this man, the wealth for him was not a blessing from Allah. Allah has given him the wealth to lure him in to the bad deeds that he will engage in. And then the Prophet ﷺ read an ayah of the Quran. أَيَحْسَبُونَ أَنَّمَا نُمِدُّهُمْ بِهِ مِنْ مَالٍ وَبَنِينَ. Allah says, do they think that what we extend for them of wealth and children and prosperity, it is good for them? بَلْ نُسَارِعُ لَهُمْ فِي الْخَيْرَاتِ. Then Allah says that we are only luring them by eating away from their good deeds in this world. Then what happens? We give it to them until we open up the whole heavens. فَتَحْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ أَبْوَابَ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ حَتَّى إِذَا فَرِحُوا بِمَا أُوتُوا. Allah says we give them everything. That they are happy and rejoicing over what prosperity they have faced. Then Allah says, أَخَذْنَاهُمْ بَغْتَةً فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْلِسُونَ. Allah says, then we give them that life, we lure them in, they are engaged so wholehearted. They are so content with the wealth that they have, then all of a sudden we grab them and seize them with our punishment. فَإِذَا هُمْ مُبْلِسُونَ. And then there's no use in them. They have no hope in their life. There is no khayr. So as Muslims, as believers, our wealth should not ever resemble the wealth of non-Muslims. Yes, we may have the same dollars. They're using USD, we're using USD. They're using Canadian dollars, we're using Canadian dollars. But the approach that we have for wealth cannot be the same approach. If it becomes the same approach, then we are preparing ourselves for our own destruction. And you look, in the time of the Prophet ﷺ, he destroyed a group of people by themselves destroying themselves. Allah says that we took them and they started demolishing their own homes. So we gave them something, we tested them in such a way that when we wanted to destroy them, we did not need to even send. We did not have to send, we did not have to outsource to bring in some punishment. We made it that they just started to destroy their own homes with their own hands, Allah says. Like that, don't think that if you are careless and naive about wealth and mal, that all of a sudden you need something outside to come and destroy it. Allah will destroy it within itself. And this is a real reality that we face. Throughout the Quran, look, Surah Al-Fajr. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فَأَمَّا الْإِنسَانُ إِذَا مَا ابْتَلَاهُ رَبُّهُ فَأَكْرَمَهُ وَنَعَمَهُ فَيَقُولُ رَبِّي أَكْرَمَهُ. A man says, when Allah tests him, and Allah mentions both sides, they're both tests. Allah says, when Allah tests the slave, وَأَكْرَمَهُ وَنَعَمَهُ, He gives him honor and gives him a lot of wealth and prosperity. He says what? رَبِّي أَكْرَمَهُ. Allah has blessed me and honored me. وَأَمَّا إِذَا مَا ابْتَلَاهُ فَقَدَرَ عَلَيْهِ رِزْقًا. Then when Allah tests another person, or even the same person, and withholds from him rizq, puts it in distress and struggle. He says, رَبِّي أَهَانًا. My Lord has disgraced me. Yani, Allah is testing him with wealth, Allah is testing him with the lack of wealth. When he has wealth, he thinks that he's honored somebody of value. Like Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu says that إِنَّ اللَّهَ تَبَارَكَ وَتَعَالَى قَسَمَ بَيْنَكُمْ أَخْلَاقَكُمْ كَمَا قَسَمَ بَيْنَكُمْ أَرْزَاقَكُمْ. Abdullah bin Mas'ud radiallahu anhu says that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has distributed wealth amongst you all. But Allah gives wealth to whoever He wants. Allah gives it to the one He loves. Allah gives it to the one He does not love. However, Iman, Abdullah bin Mas'ud says, however, Iman, Allah only gives Iman to the one Allah loves. And Iman does not go to the one that Allah does not love. So, do not be consumed in thought that through wealth and honor that I am honorable in the sight of Allah. Inna akramakum indallahi atqakum. The only one that has value in the sight of Allah is the one who has taqwa. But on the other side, the Prophet ﷺ taught us in Sahih du'as, Allahumma inni as'aluka al-huda wal-tuqa wal-afaf wal-ghina. He alayhi salatu wasalam used to make dua. One of the things in his dua he used to make, al-ghina, ask for wealth. Then another hadith, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-kufr wal-faqr. Oh Allah, I seek your refuge from being a disbeliever, from disbelieving, and from poverty. How did he connect the two of them? That disbelief and poverty, they can come hand in hand. That when a person struggles so much financially, does not understand the struggle, he will go to the wrong means. Throughout the Quran, throughout the Sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, we are taught time and time again about what is wealth, how to gain wealth, how to spend wealth, and this is something that every single one of us are involved in. Every single one of us. There's not a single person who's not involved in wealth. But think about it. How much of us actually are concerned? Am I doing it right? Could I have done it better? How am I spending my money? Like it's mentioned in hadith, the Prophet ﷺ said that one of the first questions a person will be asked is about his wealth, where he spent it. He will not be able to move on Qiyamah until he takes account and justifies where he spent his money. So during the pandemic, during times like this, don't only think about, oh, I don't have enough money. Think about how to spend the money. What does Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala want from you in that money? A person who has money can be so blessed in hadith that it says that it is not permissible to be jealous, to have ghibta, hasad, to be jealous of anybody in this world except two men. The first, the one who reads Quran all day and night. The second, Allah gives him wealth and he spends everywhere. So Allah can bless you with wealth. And you can be honored through that wealth. But at the same time, that wealth can drag you. Like Allah says, a man in the Quran says he disbelieves in the verses of Allah. Then he says, لَأُوتَيَنَّ مَالًا وَوَلَدًا. I have enough money and wealth. I don't need to believe. So don't believe that wealth is making you free of your responsibilities in the sight of Allah. And don't believe that wealth itself is khair for you. It is not. It can be khair. It can be good. Provided that you are constantly aware of the obligation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in that wealth. I advise every single person to make lots of dua. When they work hard on, it's a routine. The first thing is a person should work hard in gaining wealth. When they work hard in gaining wealth, they should be focused on making it through the halal way. The second thing is how they spend that wealth, making sure that it is spent in moderation. The third thing is that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives them wealth, that they should be concerned in making sure that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts that deed from them. إِنَّمَا يَتَقَبَّلُ اللَّهُ مِنَ الْمُتَّقِينَ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala only accepts from those who are pious. So make dua, keep the duas of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam in mind. Allahumma inni as'aluka al-huda wal-tuqa wal-afaf wal-ghina. Allahumma inni a'udhu bika min al-kufri wal-faqr. And make dua that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accepts from you your deeds. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless everybody in this ummah with khair and in their wealth. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala remove from us this calamity, this pandemic. And may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all give us all the ability to be concerned and aware and diligent in how we gain wealth, how we spend wealth, and every aspect of our deeds.